Hello, everybody. This is Mr. Mathis again. We're here at 2.16 Ultra Karel. We've learned about coding colors now. And so we're doing an exercise where Karel has a painting company and he's painting the fences in his neighborhood where all the red paint should actually be blue and all the blue paint should actually be red. So we're going to write a program to change the colors from red to blue and blue to red. So this is a key right here. The world will always be 10 avenue wide. So when you hear that, you're possibly thinking, a for loop, maybe, a for loop just for that specific range. So let's get started. Let's see what we can do here. So we have two different worlds. All right, we have world 1 and we have world 2. Okay. So let's try world 1. Okay. So the first thing I'm thinking is some sort of if statement, right? Some sort of if statement of when the squares are red and else maybe when the colors are blue or something like that. So let's try it. So we just learned about color. So let's look at the documentation for color. Color is, okay, and then whatever the color is. So let's use that code we see right here, okay? So if color is, let's go with red, okay? If color is red, okay, let's go back to the picture. What would we like to do? Paint color, remember square brackets, blue, okay? Now let's remember this is the documentation here. So paint, parentheses, color, and don't forget that square bracket. So it gives you a nice example right here, okay? So I use single parentheses, but you could use double parentheses. I think they both will work. I believe so. All right, so let's see else. Okay, else paint color brackets red. Okay, so let's see if this code works. All right, good. So it does work. Now let's try to put it in sort of for loop. Okay, some sort of for loop for I in range. For I in range. Let's do 9 times. Let's see how that works. Just trial and error, just seeing if it works. All right, so let's see. Let's run this program reset. Oh, we have to move. Okay, I forgot to move. Let's see. Okay, let's run. Okay, let's move. And let's move. Let's see how that works. All right, good. So now we have the last color is not the proper color. So let's take a look at let's think about what we should do. Okay, let's see what happens if we put the for loop to go 10 times, because that last color, I believe, did not change. We do the for loop. He crashed into the wall. So we have to do a range 9 times, and now we have to code it one more time, I believe, for an if-else statement, okay? Because remember, we have two different worlds. We have world 1 and we have world 2, okay? So we don't know what that color is. So let's one more time. If color is underscore is red, paint color. Remember square brackets, that is key. Blue, else, paint, color, red. All right, so let's see. Okay, so just to recap, this for loop is only covering us until we get to this square. Once we get to this square, it's not changing. So we have to add one more condition that's without a move, because if we add a move, it's going to run into the wall. So let's see. Okay, so that works for 1. Let's see if it works for 2. Okay, good. So let's remember comment this out. A for loop to change the first 9 spots from blue to red, or vice versa. If else statement to change color of last spot. All right, so all right, good job. Let's move on. All right, so okay, I needed to delete that real quick. So let's take a look at checkerboard Karel. Okay, if you did not try this on your own, please pause the video. Try this on your own. This is our toughest exercise yet. So it's going to take quite a bit of time, take quite a bit of patience, but try it on your own. If not, let's try it together. All right, so let's think what are we going to do first? Okay, so let's show the exercise. We're painting a checkerboard, okay? Now we have to write a program that will actually color this entire board. All right, so remember that the board will always be 8 rows, 8 columns. Instead of writing out move and paint every single command, we must use functions. So we're going to be using if-else statements, some loops. We're going to try it all. So let's see what we can do. So let's see, how would we paint the first row? Like, if we're just going to get started, let's just get our mind going. What would we do? All right, first I would paint. Now remember, if you can't remember how you look at the documentation. So this is a really good example. Remember of how you use that documentation. If you can't remember exactly the code, the syntax, square brackets. I always use double parentheses, but single parentheses work as well. Okay. First code would be black. All right. As we see in the picture on the left, will be black. All right, move, and then we would paint red. All right, so let's just test this code out just to see. Okay, good. Now, we have something here. We know it's going to be 8 across. Let's see if we can loop this 8 times. All right, just to save code, to be efficient, for I in range 8 times. Okay. Let's move this up. Let's move this all over for the correct syntax. All right. Oh, he crashed into the wall. Okay. So that shows me we cannot run it 8 times. You can only run it 7 times. So let's see what happens when we run it 7 times. Oh, did I reset? All right, let's take a look at what's going wrong. Okay, I'm putting this loop too long. I forgot since it's only since it's 8 spots and there's 2 commands, it should run 4 times. Let's see what happens when we run it 4 times. Up, still crashing into the wall. Let's run it 3 times. Let's see what happens. Okay, now we got it. Now that it's only going, we still need to get it to the wall without that extra move, right? Without that extra move. So let's just copy and paste this, and let's just move this over, okay? So now we're gonna paint, I'm just copy and pasting just for time's sake for this video, but I suggest you actually write it out. The more you write it out, the more you learn, the better the code. Okay, good. So we painted a row, okay? So let's actually put this as a function because we have a lot of code to go. Let's just make this a function. I'm gonna name this paint row. It doesn't really matter what you name it. For me, I'm just gonna name it paint row, okay? All right, so we have paint row. Now, how do we get to this next line? Okay, how do we get to this next line above? So I think we would turn left, move, then turn left again. Okay? And so since we made this a function, let's actually call this function and let's see how this runs. Okay, so we're going to paint the row, turn left, go up 1, turn left. Let's see how it runs. Bad input on line 4. Oh, I forgot the semicolon. Okay, so let's see. Okay, good. Now that we have, I'm just going to put a little space here just so I wanted to make a point here. So now that we have it painting its direction, let's see if we can paint the row again to go across. Let's see. Oh, good. We're making some progress. Now, how do we get it from the second line to the third line? What will we have to code? Turn right. Move. Turn right. All right, so let's see. Reset the code. Oh, good. Okay, good. Now we're facing on the next row. Let's actually paint row again. So let's see. How does this work? All right, we're making some progress. Now, how will we get it from the 3rd row to the 4th row? How will we do that? We take the same bit of code and now we're putting it here. Now I'm noticing a pattern. Once you see a pattern, don't just keep typing out a pattern. That's not efficient. It's not good to code like that as you get more advanced. So now I'm seeing a pattern. Let's make an if-else statement. Let's create a function and let's make it an if-else statement. So let's call it move next row. I can't think of something better. Let's just put move next row. Okay. Now let's do an if statement. So if what? Now let's look at this 3rd row. If Karel is, what can we use in our documentation? This. If Karel is facing east, right? If Karel is facing east, facing east, what can we do? We're just going to take this code, all right, and put it there. Okay, remember, we have to keep our indentations the way it should be, or it's not going to run. Else, what should it be? Right? Now remember, if Karel is facing this way, what will the code need to be? What do we notice in our pattern? Turn right, move, turn right. All right, so this is what I believe will get it done. So now that we have made this, let's actually make this code more efficient. Okay, so now we have paint row and we have move next row. Okay, now that we have this new function, we're going to make our code more efficient. Okay. Now I'm just using spaces here to make a point. I just want to make a point just by using these statements, just a teaching tool. Now that I've used those spaces, let's reset the code and let's run it. Okay, now that we notice a pattern here, right? So to me, this looks like some sort of for loop, right? Let's see if we can for loop this all the way to the top. Okay, so for I in range, I don't know, let's put 7, or we could put 8. I don't know, try it out. I'm not quite sure. Let's just see how it goes. That's a lot of coding, trial and error, see how it goes. Let's just see how it goes. All right, so let's reset. Let's for loop this 8 times. Can we get to the top? Ah, we crashed into the wall. All right, so let's actually try this 7 times. We need it not to crash into the wall. So let's see. Okay, good. So now we need to code this special for the last row. Okay, we need to code this special for the last row. So I'm going to make a function just last row. Okay, last row. I can't think of anything better. It doesn't matter what you call it, just something that we can refer to when we code it kind of makes sense. So last row, we're going to paint black, move, paint red, move, sort of like we did here, right? Just like we did here. So let's just take this code. I'm going to copy and paste it just to save time and take this same code here. Okay? So now that this is last row, let's see for our, I should have done that. For our code, let's see what last row does to our code. Let's see what last row does. All right, so let's reset. All right, let's see. Okay, we are almost there. We're almost there. Okay, so last row we'll take this same row. We'll take this and put it here. Okay? Let's see what happens here. Okay. So what I didn't realize that this last row looks just like paint row. So let's just see if paint row actually works. And I made a function that I didn't need to create. It's just a waste of function, just trying to talk it through it on the fly. Okay, so actually we could delete last row. We actually don't even need that. Okay, so just to be efficient. Okay, so now we need one more function because we're almost there. We're almost there. All the boxes are colored. But what do we need to do? We need to get Karel back to this home position. So let's just create a function, come home. Let's just create a function, come home. Let's just, how would we do that? We need Karel to turn left, I believe. And then we would need it to move 7 times. So let's do a for loop 7 times instead of actually typing out for I in range 7. You know, we don't want to just be typing out move 7 times when you become more of an advanced coder. So let's see if I in range move. So let's see what come home does. Okay, does it get us where we need to go? Let's see. Okay, now we need one last command. And that would be turn left, I believe. For some reason I get confused sometimes, but turn left, I believe. Let's check. All right, we got it. So please, I know that was difficult. I know it was a lot. It took a lot of patience, a lot of trial and error. We created functions we didn't need to, had to come back and erase it. So please try it. Please just don't copy this code. Please just don't copy it. Please understand every line. If you don't understand every line, please come see me. We'll go over it. All right. Thanks a lot. See you next time.